So it is time. I finally got in the fragrances that you guys have been wanting me to get in, courtesy of ScentRush.us. They just sent these to me. They are Parfums de Marly Extraits, Valero, Carios, and Aragon. And what they did before anybody asks is Scent Rush is a bottle and decant site. They got these in, they took out what fluid they needed to decant, and then they just sent me the bottles with the fluid left instead of just sending me a decant. They didn't need the bottles, so they sent me the bottles with the fluid left in them. So I have about 10 milliliters of each that I'm going to be working with, and we're going to be doing my first impressions today of all three, and I'm going to do like a little bit of an early blind ranking to let you guys know what I think. And then we'll do a full review in about 10 to 15 days. With that said, let's talk about them. Without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, back at you talking about the new Parfums de Marly Extraits, Eragon, Valero, and Carios. Before we get into it, make sure to hit the subscribe buttons, comment below, let me know which one of these you're interested in. They gave us 3-note breakdowns for each, which I will give you guys. But outside of that, not much else going on, and I'll let you know if I get any of those notes, if I get anything different from them. And I will be using the neutral feel of all three by doing it on a test strip. I will be getting a full wear out of my favorite starting today, and then the second favorite tomorrow, and so on. Then I'm going to get a few wears out of each one. So with that said, and I just want to let a lot of people know, if you ask any master perfumer, the best way to test a fragrance is the neutral feeling of it with no skin chemistry involved is by testing the neutral feeling of it. And for a reviewer, that is the best way to do it. Anyway, I'm going to start out with the one that I'm least excited about, I guess, and that is Parfums de Marly Valero. This one was the one that I was least interested in because I knew it was going to be the easiest wear out of the three. This is a geranium, ambrox, and lavender is the 3-note breakdown that they gave us. And so I was trying to see if I could smell it on here. It's a little bit, and let's give it a shot, see what we got here. That is exactly what I thought it would smell like. It smells really nice. It smells very clean. It smells very fresh. And I'm not going to factor in the price here. The price is going to be $550 from what I'm understanding for each of these. The price for all of the other ones like Castley and all of that are $485 at retail. So it's actually not that much more expensive. It's like $75, $85 more, or $65. And when they hit discounters, from what I'm hearing, is they'll be starting around $275 to $300, with Valero getting down to as close to $225. So they're not going to be like overly expensive compared to like other niche. This smells like a typical blue fragrance, though. This is so boring. It smells great, absolutely fantastic for a blue fragrance. When I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about $550, I'm not thinking about Missoni Pour Homme. That's what this smells like. It's kind of like, it has a little bit of like Missoni Pour Homme, maybe like Versace Dylan Blue-ish. It has this kind of, it's the blue, it's the geranium, the lavender, the ambrox, and that woody effervescence. And it's very smooth, and it's pushing out very nicely. I've smelled this 550 times. This is just like this one of the smoothest versions. It kind of just smells like a mix of every blue that you've smelled out there, like a Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Missoni Pour Homme style. I'm comparing this more to Missoni Pour Homme Versace Dylan Blue blend, because Pour Homme is like a fresher Bleu de Chanel. That's what this one kind of gives me vibes of. So if you're looking for something like that, you can just buy one of the ones I just mentioned. Or if you have money to blow, this one is it. Valero is really, really nice. It's very enjoyable. It's not $550 enjoyable. I can tell you that much for fact. Now going into the one that I will come back to it in a second just to let you know. Anyway, the next one is Parfums de Marly Carios. Again, these first two I wasn't like over the moon about. I just didn't really care too much. The one for this was a little bit more exciting. It's orange, tonka bean, and red thyme. And as you can tell, the fluid is more of like a pinkish orange color. So let's see what we got here. I'm trying to spray it like 5 times on a tester, and you can see it's definitely wet. That's what she said. That's what he said. Interesting. Definitely get that orange. Has a bit of like a red fruity vibe behind it. Interesting. This is a little bit more muted than I had expected. There is like a slight, I'm trying to figure it out. There's like a slight rosy vibe here. I'm not sure if that's coming from the way that the orange and the red thyme, because I've never smelled like a thyme heavy fragrance, so I'm not 100% sure. But there's definitely a light floral under there, and I can't tell if it's rose or not, because it's either that like I'm really liking this, and the fact that it's like this muted, calming, but still strong, like semi-sweet orange, but also semi-fresh, has a little bit of a floral underlie, and a little bit of spice. It kind of reminds me of that Paco Rabanne Ultra Red, Mugler Amen Ultra Zest, but like a little bit more muted on the citrus. And a little bit of this kind of floral vibe. Has a slight woody tone too, giving it almost a little bit of like the Parfums de Marly Hobdon feeling. But Hobdon's more of that caramelized apple. This is an interesting one. I'm probably going to have to come back to this because just based on what I'm smelling here, it's simplistic, but it's also, I'm trying to pick out what I'm actually getting from it. And what I'm getting mostly is the orange, a little bit of sweetness underneath that, and then what seems to be a lightly spiced rose. But I can't tell if that's exactly what it is, because usually I can pick out rose like a bad habit, and I usually hate rose, or hate wearing rose. I like smelling it, but this one's leaning the most femme of the two, but it's like direct in the middle unisex. It's okay. It's nice. Both of them are nice. Both of them are nice. That's a little bit above average. I wouldn't go any further than that. And now we're going to move on to the one that I am really excited about. I actually don't remember the notes. I know what it's like, cinnamon and something else. Like maybe cinnamon, vanilla, blah, blah, blah. But I just remember it being really good. This is Parfums de Marly Aragon. It has that angel share looking fluid, like pea. And so, yep, that's the one. That's the one. There's going to be one issue here, though. They should have called this Parfums de Marly Wajan Extrait. I mean, it's not exactly Wajan, but, I mean, people are going to put 2 and 2 together. It has that oriental spiced cinnamon, like vanillic, kind of rich cinnamon pie smell, pushing out extraordinarily. I'm kind of almost excited that I sold my Wajan, because I sold my Wajan, not sold it, traded it, because I was getting something that I really wanted in return, and the only way that they would do the 6-bottle trade is if I included Wajan. So I really like Wajan. I was going to pick up a new one, but now I'm not going to have to because Eragon's here. So once this comes on discounters, I'll just buy that. Yeah, that's really freaking good. I mean, that's like a 9. Man, I can't wait till that hits discounters, but that's not going to be the cheap one on discounters. I already know Valero is going to be the first one on discounters, and it's going to be probably, it's going to get to 200, probably maybe sub 200. I could see that happening, and I could see that happening quick. Carios on the next hand would probably show up late 200s, early 300s right away. Probably would drop to like 260, 275. This is going to hit at 365, and it might not come under 300. Yeah, there's a vibe here. Cinnamon, spice, oriental, vanilla, rich, warm, addictive, alluring. Every fucking word you can think of for a great smelling fall and winter scent. I love this shit. I love it. Parfums de Marly Aragon. This is number 1 for sure. So, I mean, if you guys couldn't tell, this is number 1. I already know where this is going to go. These type of fragrances usually transition into a not so much different dry down that has usually a little bit of spice, more spice and woods than the opening, and maybe a little bit of a vanilla kick. But yeah, I can already tell where this is going. I'm giving this a 9. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it about a half hour to an hour to let these kind of just dry down a little bit. I'm going to get my wife and daughter's opinions, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of an idea of how they dry down. Since this is a first impression, I don't wait that long. But with that said, I will be right back. All right, guys, so we are back. We are in the dry down of the 3 new Parfums de Marly Extraits. I did get my daughter's opinion. My wife isn't home yet, but with that said, how do I feel about it? Well, I'm just going to get the best one out of the way. This is Parfums de Marly Aragon. Me and my daughter both really like this fragrance. We think it smells really nice, kind of like a more spicy angel share, this oriental spice, which is what you get from Parfums de Marly Wajan. So it's almost like Wajan Extrait is what they should have called it, because it really does have like 85% vibes of that. So if you're going into this thinking this was going to be something brand new, eclectic, and original, it's not. But if you're somebody who likes Wajan and want just more of a smoother, slightly more richer, and more slightly sweeter version of Wajan, here you go. Parfums de Marly Aragon is going to be a definite pickup for me, 100%. Going into the next one, this is the Carios. And I still am, this is the one I'm going to need to get a full wear on, because I get one thing from it. My daughter gets something completely different from it. But to me, there is some kind of like floral component to it. Again, I need to wear this on skin. I even tried spraying it on my hand, but I'm not sure if it's just the blend that's confusing me or what's going on. I can tell you that it smells nice. It kind of smells like if you mix together like pieces of Oud for Greatness and pieces of Parfums de Marly hopped on, made it a bit fresher, and then had this kind of floral rosy component in the background, in my opinion. My daughter thinks it has like a grassy sweetness smell to it, so I'm not 100% sure. Just based on my opinion, I think that I wouldn't really wear this because it does, no matter what you smell from it, it does lean a bit feminine. That's the only thing that I can 100% tell you. So of all the 3 of them, this one leans the most feminine, but it's still a nice fragrance. I just need to give it a few wears to give you guys a full idea. And then the third one is the Parfums de Marly Valero. And I've actually heard from some other person that they really disliked this fragrance. And while I would put it as the 3rd best out of all of these, it is probably the most easy wear all season fragrance, which is what you would expect from a fragrance that had a 3-note breakdown that kind of just looks like the most basic ass fragrance of all time. But this is a high quality blue fragrance that is centered around the kind of semi-sweet geranium that you also get a light floral component from that. And then you also do have that nice lavender, the ambroxan, you have some spice, you definitely got some woods, a little bit of a bright citrus in the opening. But overall, it's a really easy wear blue fragrance that would cost probably, I would say $100 would be an average range for a fragrance that's smelled in the same realm as this. Well, I can too, I'll be able, as soon as you dry down, it does go a little bit down the road of its own direction, a little bit more spicy, a little bit more woody, almost a little like soapy barbershop style, but it's still a very average blue fragrance that you would not expect to have for $550. These are performing out the wazoo, and I know it's just on a test strip right now, but I did spray Eragon on, and this stuff is just plowing off my skin. I mean, it's 8 to 10 feet, and I'm a half hour, 45 minutes in. My daughter walked in from school and was like, holy crap, it's crazy. So, with that said, yeah, I had to rank the three. The easiest one would be Aragon. I would say that's an 8.8 to a 9, easy. Obviously, got to get some wears on the skin, but it's a really, really good one. And again, the performance is just going beastly. This one, Carios, I would probably give like an 8, maybe an 8.1. But it has a chance of going higher, and it also has a chance of going lower, depending on how that floral, what my daughter would call the grassy component, how that pushes off once it hits my skin. Again, I'll give you that in my full review. Keep an eye out on my channel. And then my least favorite, but also probably the easiest wear, is Valero. I don't see anybody wanting to buy this for $550. But with that said, it does. This is the one where I am ranking based on price and no price. So if there was no price involved with this, I would rank it probably an 8. If the price is factored into it, I would rank it probably a 7 to a 7.5, which then I would just combine those two scores and say this is a 7.6 to a 7.8 out of 10. It's okay, and I wouldn't recommend buying it, and I would recommend trying it, which again, I got all of these from Scent Rush. They don't have them in stock right now, but keep checking. Go to the site, type in the name of the fragrance, put your email in. They should have more of these very, very soon. The release date, I believe, is in 2 to 3 weeks. Parfums de Marly just announced them on their site, so you should be seeing them pop up very soon. But that's Parfums de Marly, Carios, Valero, and my favorite, which is Aragon. Let me know which one you guys are more excited about. Again, look forward to my full review in about, I'd say, 10 to 15 days, maybe like a week to 10 days. And just so I can get a wear out of all three and then do my full review. But I'll also update you guys on the shorts tab. So thank you guys so much. Again, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back with another one. Peace out.